Welcome to the 1988 Wixy Weekend, presented by Cleveland's favorite radio station, WMJI, Magic 105.7. If you were tuned in this past September for the third annual Wixy Weekend, you heard a cavalcade of magic moments from some of the many names that made Wixy 1260 one of America's great radio stations. In the next hour, you'll have the opportunity of being right in the studio with Wixy legends like Lou King Kirby, Billy Bass, Jim LaBarbera, Chuck Knapp, Larry the Duker Morrow, Paxton Mills, Jack Armstrong, when history was made on the north coast of America.
Entire year, I don't think Gary will step in at that position at all. And then again, you have to ask Gary Danielson, what does he want to do with his life? He's going to play football again? He's going to start a business?
I think he'd be a good coordinator.
I do too. He's
Hey, good people, you're a gas, you're a massive class. On 1260 Wixy Radio. Let's get with it, a go, go, go. Swingin' Wixy Radio. Wixy 1260. Super Radio. Radio, a go, go. Wixy 1260. Super Radio.
You are with the Teenage Underground
On Wixy 1260 Super Radio. Wherever you go, go, go with Wixy 1260 Super Radio. Yeah, yeah! At your home or in your car, this is where you really are. You're on 1260 Super Radio. Keep your eye on the other guy and your ear on Wixy 1260 Super Radio. In Cleveland, it's number one.
WMJI, Magic 105.7 FM. Let us take you back in time. You remember.
WIXY Cleveland, where the winning is as close as your telephone. It's 11 o'clock. This is Paxton Mills. Time sure flies when you're hungover. WIXY with some summertime boogie. Average white band, thanks to Mills at 11:03. That has cut the proverbial cake by request.
Cut the cake, please.
It's the Magic
Wixy 1260 Super Radio.
Basement Weekend from the biggest, most magical collection of oldies in Ohio, or maybe even the country, exclusively from WMJI, Cleveland's Magic 105.7 FM.
WMJI Magic 105.7 FM, the Wixy Basement Weekend, and the men are here.
Dirty boy!
Amazing.
Wixy lives.
Well, I tell you what, it's like I was telling you guys, the interview was this morning. We're here to have fun now.
God, I'm here for the rebuttal.
We're here to...
Well, maybe that's
Why don't we just go around the table, everyone?
King, I hear you impugn.
Let's start off with
what?
Lou King Kirby.
Okay, my name is Lou King Kirby. I was here at Wixy 1967 and 1971.
Napper, I was here from 1969 through 1971, last year and again this year. How you doing, Cleveland?
Before we go any further, let's see how Chuck used to sound a few years ago.
The Wixy Music Explosion continues with Chuck Knapp. From WIXY, Cleveland, Northern Ohio's music leader.
Wixy Radio with the triple play.
Magic.
Oh, well, that was just one of his many ideas that he had.
I'm a man of many words.
You'll get a chance to use that on Sun. Let's see, you're going to be on the air tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 7.
Any day is all right with me as long as it's here.
The Napper and Jim LaBarbera here, too, of
I was
course.
the most eligible bachelor, Cleveland's most eligible bachelor. I came in to Wixy actually the first time on that list of 500 disc jockeys who used to work here as Jay Bentley Star, the intrepid leader, for 3 days. We had 2 morning men at that time. Ray Otis, he quit the second day, and then the third day Howie Lund was here. Then I went to WKYC, and I was over there for a couple of years, and then came back to Wixy in '68.
Is he reading a bio or what?
It's exciting, isn't it?
The reason they left is because he was here, I guess. Is that true? Do you have that
That's when we
effect
were
on
all
morning
taught.
guys?
Hey, Napper,
Yeah.
could you either move those cans or put them on, please?
Here, I'll move them.
See,
I'll move my
It's
can.
been so long since a guy.
All right.
Paxton Mills, you weren't with us last year. Good to have you here with us.
Thank
this time.
you. I was a prostitute, and I was hired for one of the available evening shifts. And no, I'm serious. This is the first time I've been back in 8 years. And so many things. I was asking about Swingo's Keg and Quarter and the Rusty Scupper and all of these things. I understand the Flats is amazing, right?
You have a lot to see this weekend, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to be in the middle of the Flats. If you'd like to contact me, I'll be down there.
Where are you now?
I'm in
we
Denver.
know where you are now, but where are you working these days?
Strangely enough, on Magic in Denver.
Yeah, KMJI are the call letters out there.
You
Well, good to
bet.
have you with us. And this guy sitting next to you, the last time I saw you is when I was filling in for Lanigan at the Hot Bod Bikini Contest.
Was that fun or what?
And I asked Billy
That's
if...
the reason why I'm here today, Dave.
Well, I asked Billy if he'd be one of the judges, and it took you, what, maybe 2-3 seconds to say yes?
Bring on the women.
And you've got some pictures to show me, I
Ooh, I
understand.
can't wait to show
Great
you. They're
pictures.
great. I followed, let's see, when did I come here?
You followed me.
That's right, I used to get paid
69.
about a third of what you made. I remember that.
Well, it happens. And who's the lovely lady sitting next to you,
This
Billy?
is Marge Bush. Without her, none of us would be here. This is our leader. This is the woman that picked all the tunes, got us to work on time. She's the greatest.
Marge was our den mother for, the 2 years I was here anyway.
Forever.
Yeah, easy.
I was here before Wixy got here. I was here after Wixy left.
And she raised all of us.
I was music director and also assistant program director.
And what are you doing these days, for those who don't know?
She's a prison guard.
She is this weekend, that's for sure.
I'm the director of the Ohio School of Broadcast Technique here in Cleveland.
Now, that used to be
The Wixy School.
upstairs from where we are now?
Right here.
Yeah, right
on
down
the
there.
same floor.
Right
And
down
Norman Wayne paid us $7 an hour to teach there.
$7.
And it only took me an hour to teach him everything I knew.
Norman Wayne paid me $7 an hour to go there.
After you were here.
Well, it's good to have all you guys in Cleveland again. Jim, what are some memories? What comes back to you when you come back to town?
Well, the big thing we talked about the last time was the 10,000 people down at not Fountain Square, but 9th and Euclid Avenue for the biggest chest, whatever New York can do.
The big bazooms. I heard you guys talk about that this morning. And you actually kept the names? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, we had those names. Susan and we talked about that on Lanigan's show this morning. Lanigan said, "What? How the hell do you remember all that?" But also, I remember being on the air one night, and I was in the National Guard, and I got a call in the middle of the night that my unit was activated, and I had been with a couple of friends of mine off of Euclid Avenue earlier in the evening, and here I was going back down there, putting my records down and picking up a rifle and walking around with a damn rifle because the city was on fire and there was the race riots. And I remember that like it was yesterday.
That's because you made me mad.
Close personal friend of Dan Quayle.
My first weekend here, I had never been to Cleveland, Ohio, and I checked into the Sheraton Switchblade.
When were you on the air here, Paxton?
That's right.
March, what year? It was 75?
No, it was before then.
I think. Well, middle 70s. My mind is clouded.
It was that kind of an era.
No, but I came in on the Pittsburgh-Cleveland rivalry, and all the Pittsburgh people were here.
Yeah.
I was the only person, shall we say, in the Sheraton that didn't know what was going on. It's like, who you for, man? And whoever you're for,
Cleveland.
No,
Cleveland.
they had a garbage strike, I think, and a newspaper strike on it. And I thought, what have I done to myself? And I'll tell you, I really miss this place. There's some great. Is the Richfield Tavern still?
Yes.
Oh, Melrose. Yeah, he's still there making the clam chowder and all the good stuff.
Oh, listen, spent some good nights down there. I got to go see the flats, though. I understand the flats are amazing.
Well, you'll be there tomorrow night. We hope everyone else will too, because tomorrow night at 8 o'clock it starts at Peabody's down in the flats. The big Wixy reunion party. I tell you what, man.
Well, now,
I know you guys were out on stage, and I was in the background last year, and it was a mob, but it was great. It was so much fun.
It was that hot legs contest. That's what did it.
Well, yeah,
that did it, wasn't
Jack Armstrong had a great contest. Like, where is your leader?
Oh, he'll be here.
All right.
Where is Jackson anyway?
He'll be here tonight.
Oh, right. Okay.
He comes in by, I think, 11:30.
Okay.
But don't miss that party. That's a party.
That's a party.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're talking short skirts. Oh,
well,
is that fun or what?
Were you here for the hot pants weekend?
No,
you remember the hot pants weekends?
Oh, at Wixy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, that's it.
What are some of your
radio.
What are some of your memories
of
the
hot
hot
pants? Unless
pants?
you're driving, and you can imagine what the hot pants weekend was like.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to listen to let's see here. What do we have?
Pants back in those days.
A Billy Bass memory and some more music here.
Billy Bass on Wixy 1260 Super Radio. And now, just you and I.
Wilson Pickett. Oh, I love that song. Getting down to the midnight hour. Hi, this is King Kirby. Now, we did a thing for the Wixy School of Broadcasting, I guess it was 1968, 1969, Marge?
69.
Marge is the historian, 69. And is this my voice on here?
I don't know. Is this we'll find out.
This is when I used to say,
This is you, Lou.
Okay, I used to say, well, we did the spot twice. And the first time I did it was like, I never even knew how to pronounce disc jockey. Now I is one. And this is the spot.
This is King Kirby, and I want to talk to you about your future. Are you presently stuck in a dead-end, humdrum, low-opportunity job? This technique prepares you fully for a career in broadcasting. The engineering course prepares you for your FCC first-class license. Both the engineering and broadcast courses are taught by Wixy professionals who have already made it. Call now, 391-1111, to find out if you have the makings of a broadcast specialist. New class starts soon, 391-1111. The Wixy School of Broadcast Technique could be your opportunity knocking.
Barbara Paxton Mills, Billy Bass, and the lovely Margaret.
Thank you.
The former music director at WIXY, and we have some folks who want to talk to you guys. Margaret is on the air live. Go ahead, Margaret.
Hi, I'd like to thank you to Cleveland.
All right, thank you.
All right, Margaret.
And thank you for the wonderful job you've done. There was an inspiration we had with Jim Runyon.
Yep.
And he was just fantastic. And I remember growing up and listening to him every morning on the radio.
He was a great one.
And there was a song that he played for me every single morning. And if he didn't hear from me, he'd ask me to call. And it's called the Bumpity Bump Girl.
Okay, now Jim Runyon was at KYW and left right before I went in there in 1966, so he was never on Wixy.
Oh.
He was on KYW that then became WKYC.
Oh, ruin her dreams.
Okay. And I love that song so much. It was always a cute song.
The Bumpity
Bump Girl. I still have an
Girl.
original Wixy 12.
Well, he's up there.
I won.
You know, Wixy was so big, it didn't matter what radio. It was still the Wixy era.
Yeah.
You know.
Got it.
I want to know why they called her the Bumpity Bump Girl.
Well, it was a song, and he always teased me about it.
Uh-huh.
I have an original Wixy 1260 T-shirt I'll always cherish.
Is that the one I gave you, darling?
It must be.
Don't wash it.
You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Was it small, medium, or bodacious?
Yo!
I'm not telling.
Jim Runyon is up there riding that great big Wixy turntable in the sky, and God bless him for that. And thanks for calling.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and by the way, Margaret and everyone else, you could buy a new WIXY radio sweatshirt to commemorate the weekend going on at any Daffy Dance location.
I was going to bring one of the original March. Remember the Wixy Pace Setter promotion that we did? We gave away Pacer cars when they came out. True story. I'd never seen horses run, never been in a place where it was legal.
Yeah.
Went out with Marge to Northfield
Park.
Mm-hmm. Never bet any money on horses in my life. This guy that was sitting in front of us that Marge knew said, look, I've been out here a million times. Follow my thing. We spent, $20 on what they call the trifecta? I didn't know what a trifecta was. I came down there, picked the horses, 1, 2, and 3. My number one horse was going crazy. Came around, 1, 2, and 3. They were miles in front of the rest of the pack, and I thought, I'm about to be a rich person. Number 1 horse, I am not lying, had a stroke and died within 50 yards of the finish line. I have such fond memories of Northfield Park.
Well, that'll teach you to gamble, Paxton.
It was Marge's
And
fault.
that's why he's still on radio, because that horse died before the finish line.
God.
Hey, we got Phil standing by. Phil, you're on the air with all the guys. Go ahead.
How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm down with pneumonia, so you may not be able to understand me too clear, but one thing I remember great from around 67 and 68, anytime you would go to the car show or the Autoramas, they'd always have Wixy there, and they would have girls that were known as Wixy Pixies. And I've got pictures of the Wixy Pixie girls.
I'll bet you do.
Various car shows like that with teased up hairdo, the white go-go boots.
Now, I have a question for you guys. Earlier today, a girl called and said, you know, me and my sister always tried to be Wixy Pixies, and we never were selected. What was the selection process for becoming a Wixy Pixie?
Well, Lou Kirby was out of town.
They had to spend the weekend at my place.
Hey, tell them the story that happened last year. Pat Rand did a bit on Kirby.
Pat Rand is our promotion director here at Magic, by the way.
And you did a bit in the... Billy, do you know the story?
Billy was
Can we
part
do
of it.
that
Go
story?
ahead, Billy. Tell
It's
him.
a great story.
What story? Which one
The
is
story about the waitress, and Kirby just gets
with Kirby.
into
Okay,
Cincinnati,
yeah.
and you spiff the waitress.
Am I going to tell a story?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kirby comes to town, so we can't wait for him to arrive. And Pat and I get together. We talk to this waitress, and we say, listen, as soon as Kirby shows up, pretend that he got you in trouble, and you take it from there. We'll take care of you. She said, oh, no problem. So Kirby comes in, he's sitting down, he's looking cool. She comes over and she says, Lou? Lou says, yeah. She says, Lou Kirby? And I mean, this girl should get an Academy Award. She's doing this show. And then finally she says, Lou, you blankety-blanket son of a gun, you left me with my little daughter. And Lou looked at her, and Lou knew he was guilty, right? So he says, she's not talking to me, is she? Is she really talking to me? That was a fun story, but we had it.
Now, what's the story about? I remember from last year, you telling me about this car you used to drive around town in. You were the king. Did you?
You never drove it.
I never drove it.
You never drove it. You were always driven in the car.
Driven in the car, yeah. No, by some beautiful damsel. Marge knows that story.
A Wixy Pixie.
And usually it was Kathy Thoreau, who is now living in New York City, and she sure was one beautiful gal.
Yep. Yeah.
It was better than anything that you'd find in any magazine in the world.
And you've looked at them all.
I forgot.
You guys are good medicine. Have a good show.
Laughter's the greatest medicine in the world, isn't it?
There you go.
That's what Wixy was all about.
Is that guy on salary or what?
I like
He's
it.
been with us a while.
Yeah, I forgot to Phil. We're going to let Phil go now. And the Wild Child. Every time the Wixy Weekend, we do the Wixy Weekend, everybody always wonders about the Wild Child. What is he up to these days? I know he's not going to be in Cleveland this weekend.
No, in fact, I replaced the Child when the Child left Cleveland, and then I took his place. And he went to Pittsburgh with Jet. And they were living on a houseboat in Pittsburgh, and one night when he was asleep, somebody cut the boat loose, and that's the last we heard from him. He is gone. The Child is gone.
This is what he sounded like many years ago.
Oh, God, you got for me, girl. That's something else. It's a little one deal time to turn on. Time's on with the Wild Child at 1.5 minutes past 10 o'clock. Hey, the weather. Yes, petitions for the contest can be sent to Wixy, Box 1260 in Cleveland, or to deliver it to our downtown office at 3940 Euclid Avenue in Cleveland. There's still weeks to go, but you better get on the ball, y'all, because things that's just going to be, well, it's going to be out of sight. Just jam up jelly tight and peanut butter thick.
We got a call this morning on the air that the guy knew the Child, and the Child was in Columbus, Ohio.
Really? He is.
And the Child was going to call us back on the hotline.
Mm-hmm.
We never got the call back. But
Well,
there's
Dickie
a
Pooh,
strong feeling that he's still alive with hanging out with Jimmy Morrison.
He's living with Elvis Presley.
Elvis just left the building, by the way.
Well, Dick Korn from Dickie Pooh's is in touch with George Atten, and he's going to try to get the number for us. So we might find the Child somewhere.
Are we going to bring him to the Bash tomorrow night, Billy? I mean,
You better believe it.
right. Is it going to be total decadence?
You mean the barely dressed contest? Are you ready for that one?
Yeah.
Marge, while I was here, Child was here for just a short amount of time. Do you recall? And I can't remember the year. But it was right before. Remember Dick was here while Mike Ranieri was here, right after I got here.
Child was here for a few years.
Yeah, but he had come back and he had done nights, and then he got a gas
He was
station.
a great performer. I can remember coming in the evening.
Yeah.
I'd come in the evening, and the Child would be the record would be turned down, and he'd be on the phone talking to his wife in Texas somewhere, and he'd be crying on the phone, talking on the phone, crying on the phone, and the record would end. They were short records, 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes, and he'd be back pumping up the Child in the Woods. This is the Child in the Woods. And he'd go into his rapping and hit the commercials, hit the record, and go back crying on the phone with his wife. He could pump himself up that quickly.
All you guys were able to do that back then, though.
We were all
when
into
you were on, you were on. Really?
No, I got, in the middle of afternoon drive here after Lou left, I got served with a subpoena right out here in the newsroom while I was on the air.
For what?
For what? Yeah.
Well,
Lou took the
like I
question
said,
there.
it was after Lou left, so they had us confused.
11-year-old girl.
Hey, here's the lineup for the weekend. Tomorrow morning between 7 and 10, the Duker is going to be on.
Right.
Larry Morrow is going to leave the easy listening station he works at right now. For a few hours, anyway.
He had the greatest basketball team. We had the Wixy basketball team that played at Lakewood High and all the other high schools, drawing thousands of people a night. And what I'm looking for tonight is just a pickup game, Bass. How about you?
Remember we played John Denver. He was on our team.
We did.
John was on our team.
He was on our team.
You know, we were talking about that last night, and we all went back to Larry's apartment after the game. John Denver, I think he was just working on leaving on a jet plane at that time, that hit. And we sat up all night, of course, carousing, drinking, messing around with the ladies and everything. And Denver is sitting over there playing his guitar. And I remember one of the guys would say, "Give me that guitar!"
But it paid off for him, you know. Hey, do you know what he's going to be doing? I heard on a news report the other day that Denver offered $10 million to go up on a Russian space flight.
No, he didn't offer it. They demanded it. And he said, sorry. Here's one of my guitars.
Was that
Maybe
the
that'll
story?
do.
I'm going to go back and party with Blue King Kirby. That's what I'll be doing. And tomorrow from 10 to 1, Jim LaBarbera is going to be on the air. What do you think it's going to be like for you to be on again tomorrow?
It'll be fun. I'll reminisce, play some old music, rock and roll. It'll be fun. I look forward to it.
And Lou, you're going to be on from 1 to 4 tomorrow. You see, this guy timed it perfectly. Did you ask for that shift?
No, but I understand that I'm going to be with this Carolyn Carr. I just met her today for the first time.
Incredible.
Oh, my king, easy.
Carolyn will never be the same. The Napper is going to be on from 4 to 7. The Bussin' Cousin.
That was
you don't like that?
No, that was a Norman Wayne invention. It lasted about 6 minutes, and everything Norman did was fantastic. But the Buzzin' Cousin died in a hurry after Morrow called me the Napper, which is what kids had called me in high school in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, and so I stuck with that, and here I am.
And also on Sunday morning, it's going to be Paxton Mills from 10 to 1.
Boy, if there are so many people I'd love to talk to up here. If you got a chance, call me.
578-1105, by the way, is the number. If you want to call right now, we'll put you on the air with these guys.
Hey, I'll call you.
And Billy Bass, if we can find him somewhere Sunday morning.
I call you in Denver.
Me and all 7 listeners,
The party
right?
is Saturday night, Billy, and you've got to be on the air at 1.
Let me get this straight. This is one Sunday while the Browns are playing Pittsburgh.
From 1 to 4.
Okay. Me and all 7 listeners are going to have a great time on Sunday afternoon.
Your mother's going to.
We can fit them all in the studio. And,
Bass and I got a plan. We got a plan.
We got a plan.
All right.
I'm joining the Napper on Saturday. You can count on that.
And Jackson Armstrong is going to be here from 4 to 7 on Sunday.
Go, Linda!
And he's coming in later this evening. We'll be back with more of these guys. 578-1105. If you want to talk to the Wixy Jocks, give us a call.
Wherever you go, go with Wixy 1260 Super Radio.
Of course, let's spend the night together. Remember that?
Yeah.
But we couldn't say that on the air. We couldn't let it go across the air.
You literally couldn't say the title of the song on the air? You couldn't even play the lyric from the song?
Couldn't play the lyric or anything, because it was considered to be too obscene. And so we spliced the record, checked with the attorneys or something, and put it on tape and spliced the tape. A guy named Eric Stevens, that used to be our music director. And instead of being let's spend the night together, it would say let's spend the 2 night together. And they couldn't get us. And it's amazing.
It's amazing what you can get away with now on the air, boy.
Yeah.
Now, those guys, I also heard that they were going to perform that song on the Ed Sullivan Show. And Ed made them change the words to "Let's spend some time together."
Yeah, that's true.
As opposed to "Let's spend the night together." It's amazing how things have changed.
And they did it.
I want to know something.
Now after listening to Lanigan.
Yes. We were invited into the show, and we were told we were going to be on John's show, and we all declined, and then they came up with other things. Is Wilma Smith still here?
Yes, Wilma Smith is still here. You may not recognize her.
Is Wilma?
Oh, Wilma, if you're listening, I'm only kidding. No,
I'm telling you.
She's more beautiful than ever, and Wilma will be the first to admit that she's had some cosmetic surgery done, and they've done a wonderful job, and she's a beautiful, gracious lady.
Then excuse me, I have to leave.
Well, she's probably just now getting off the air with Ted Henry.
I was in love with her, and Fred Griffith, I assume.
She's married now, though.
Yeah?
She is married.
Yeah?
We live in the same apartment building, Wilma and I.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did you know each other?
Well, Wilma, this is Paxton.
Do you have any great
love you,
Wilma
Wilma.
Smith stories?
Yes, we knew
He
each
lived
other.
right above her, and they had a fire pole between the two bedrooms.
She was a very laid-back gal. Real quiet.
She's a classy lady. And Wilma, if you're listening, you're invited to come down. Paxton is sitting here nervously now thinking...
Oh, Wilma, give him up, okay?
Yes.
Because he's no good for you, and I'm back, okay?
There was never a problem with Wixy Jock.
Like that day.
120,000.
Yeah, and Three Dog Night put on the best, probably the best show of their career. I mean, as we know, we haven't heard from them in a while, but at that time, they were hot.
Now, we had 120,000 at the first one, and the headliner, put it in perspective, was Gene Pitney, who had a big hit record called She's a Heartbreaker. And there was like about 15 other acts, and there was 120,000 because they had a big mailer, and they had us with the Wixy Superman shirts, and a little granny glasses.
Just like we have on now.
Here's an interesting thing that happened this morning, Dan, if you were listening to the program. King Kirby was on the program with Jane Scott, and Jane was talking about the highlight of her career, and this is a woman who's been written up in all the national magazines, network television shows. She said one of the most memorable things that ever happened to her was going across the country to be with, was it the Monkees? With King Kirby.
Yeah.
And Lanigan said, I'll bet you know, because you know all this information, I'll bet you know what flight it was. And she came up with the flight information. So it's very interesting how there was...
She's an incredible lady.
Were you two involved at all, King? Were you all involved? There was so many...
We're burying everything here now, aren't we, Lou?
No, there were so many women in the King's life.
My code of the road has always been never kiss and tell.
Well, let's see if we have any ladies standing by. Hello, you're on the air live on the Wixy Basement Weekend. What's going on?
My name's Mitzi, and I have a trivia question for any of the DJs.
Okay.
Go for it.
Does any of you remember another group that made a big name record here in Ohio for the midnight hour besides Wilson Pickett?
Dick Whittington's Cats.
Somebody said Dick Whittington's Cats.
Right. You remember who his drummer was?
Whoa. Who was the drummer?
Jimmy Fox and the James Gang.
Oh, yeah, I knew Jimmy.
And Richard Greenbaum's still Dick Whittington, and he still plays around the city, but he never made it past here because of what happened with Wilson Pickett.
What happened with Wilson Pickett?
He had a big name record all over the country at the same time.
Ah, okay.
Well, thanks for calling, Mitzi. And we'll look for your Peabodys tomorrow night,
Tickets are in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Even Jim LaBarber didn't know that. He knows everything.
Jim LaBarber knows everything. Hi, you're on the air live with the Wixy Jocks.
Hi, you guys couldn't have picked a better weekend to have this thing because I'm from Conwood High School, class of 67, and we're having a reunion picnic on Sunday.
All right.
We'll be there.
Yeah, all right.
And we'll be listening to you out there.
Aren't you going to invite us?
Sure, come on out.
Right.
Where's it at?
Strawberry Lane, out in North Chagrin Reservation off South Center Road.
Okay.
Well, this is for the class of 67 then on the Wixy Basement Weekend.
How you doing, everybody?
Oh,
nice to
there we
see you
go.
again. Long time no see. Gee whiz, look at all these old faces here. I mean, pardon me, I didn't mean to say it that way. I should talk.
Ex-Wixy Jocks.
Is that like the pot calling the kettle?
Yeah, I know, yeah. What can I tell you?
Now, Denny, of course, used to be with a radio station here for a long time in town, WMMS, which has been around a long, long time. And
yeah, that's right.
You were back in the formative days of that. So what's it like for you to have all these Wixy Jocks back in town this weekend? Because, of course, that's a legendary station here in town.
Oh, gosh, these were the guys that I grew up with. Honest to God, I used to listen. You know who I used to listen? I used to listen to Jack Armstrong, used to work in Boston. I used to listen to him. Chuck Knapp up at RKO, right? I used to Chucker on W68, WRKO.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You threw up with us?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right.
And it was a gas, man. That was the great glory days of rock and roll radio. And it's just a pleasure to hear all you guys again, really, honest to God.
It's going to be a wild weekend. And, of course, everybody is welcome to come down to Peabody's. Lou King Kirby looks like he's already there mentally, you know?
I'm waiting, man.
His mind isn't here. He's at Peabody's.
It was such a good time last year.
We did. We just had just an excellent time.
But you know what? We didn't really understand what was going on. We came in last year. We hadn't seen each other, a lot of us, and in my case, it was like 18 years almost. And Billy Bass in the car, in the limousine on the way over there, said, let's go have a beer, get on the stage and make an appearance, and let's get out of there. Because we didn't think anybody was going to be there.
You were amazed.
And we pulled in a block and a half away from the place, and the police were directing traffic. And it was nice to, as you wrote me a little note, and it said, that Wixy came alive again for at least one weekend.
And by the way,
it was the strangest experience.
That party is tomorrow night. I got ahead of myself there.
It'll be tonight if you can catch us.
It happens sometimes.
Tomorrow night at Peabody's.
We're rolling tonight, tomorrow night.
The whole weekend.
Are we coming back tonight, Bass?
We're coming back tonight with
All
Denny.
right.
Denny, it's okay, right? 10
Yeah,
o'clock tonight?
sure. Love to
we'll
have
be
you
here
back.
tonight.
I got to say one thing. It's nice to see Billy. Last time I saw Billy we were in New York City. Do you remember that? We were up at a mutual friend's apartment, and we were messing around, enjoying ourselves, and you left your little black book there. and here it is. I got it right here.
The world's heaviest little black book. See, what's on people's minds? Hello there. You're on the air live. Go ahead.
Hi, how you doing there?
Yep.
Hey, it's King Kirby there, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, this is a 20-year late thank you. When I was in Nam here, a bunch of us from Cleveland area.
Uh-huh.
He wrote a letter, requesting some kind of tape.
Uh-huh.
You guys sent us an hour-long tape, which was really appreciated back then. And that's approximately 1968. And just more or less, like I say, a 20-year late thank you. You're doing a great job this weekend. This is going to be enjoyable.
Oh, great. You still have the tape?
Definitely do. I play it at work.
Oh, jeez.
So just having this come on is just a little added extra here.
Well, we hope you continue to listen all weekend. You coming down to Peabody's tomorrow?
I thought about that. Sounds like a great idea.
Stop thinking about it and do it.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, you got it. We'll see you guys later.
Okay, right. Thanks, man. And we go to line 2 here. You're on the air live with all the Wixy jocks. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're on.
I'm on?
Yes.
What are you on?
Hey, this is Gino, man. I haven't heard you in a long time. I'm sure glad I do get to hear you again. I want you to dedicate a song for me to Shelley. She's a special woman. My girl from The Temptations.
Uh-huh.
Keep up the good work, because you guys are the greatest that ever was. Believe me when I tell you that.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Guy tells the truth, doesn't he?
Couldn't have done it without you.
I believe every word that guy says.
Yep. It was the audience that made the
There's a guy
jocks.
that knows how to
You
tell
guys
it.
are the greatest. Believe me when I tell you this. I'm reliving my whole life again.
There isn't another audience like the Cleveland radio audience. There's
That's
nothing
true.
like it.
Absolutely.
Denny is looking at me saying, did he do this? Does he really do this? He doesn't know me from this.
Thanks for calling.
All right, let's move ahead here. You're on the air live with all the Wixy jocks.
Yeah, I used to listen to Wixy when I was in school, and they used to play 3 songs every morning.
Yeah.
Either War, Skinny Legs by Joey Tex, and I Gotcha. I haven't heard the song since.
Keep listening. You'll hear them this weekend.
Yeah, we have all those songs.
I'm listening.
We got them all. We want you to come down here and dance on the turntable while we play them.
I tell you.
Give me the address.
3940 Euclid Avenue.
Tonight at 10. Tonight at 10
I
at
tell you
that
what.
time.
Absolutely. I got to get out of here, guys. I'm going to turn things over to Denny Sanders, but Lou King Kirby is going to do his thing, getting himself warmed up for his...
Oh, yeah. Well, I just wanted to introduce this particular record, Just Like Me, by Paul Revere and the Raiders, because when they used to come to town, we always used to go out and party, and, it really sticks in my mind so much that I had a spliced makeup of this thing when I was back in those days, 87 minutes long when they played the guitar in the middle of the song. I still have the tape, 87 minutes of Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Lou, what did you do in the studio during those 87 minutes? That's what I'd like to know.
Yes, I never played it on the air. I used to play it for my own consumption at home.
What did you do at home during those 87 minutes?
Sweat, mother, sweat! But I love to dance to this thing.
Missed with the bottle. It's great.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm glad he missed it. I missed what? Wasn't here. That's good. Go ahead. All I'm getting there is glare. Go ahead. Okay. Okay.
Look at this for a minute. All the staff.
Pardon?
Go ahead, let's have an angle. Okay.
My agent here says I should be royal. Do whatever you want. Whatever you say. Really, I want to take that memo and read it. Video has to be very limited because we're making a publishing deal for this material. No, I'm not kidding. That's great. So Don retains 100% ownership of those images. Right. So this time we're using videotape will just be used for his own private.
going to get into one of the contests that we used to play on Wixy 1260. And we did it almost every single day, and we had wonderful prizes, all right? Now, you may remember this contest very well. We'll go in. David, are you ready? We'll go right into the song, all right? This is the way it would go. On Wixy 1260, 21 minutes right now past 9 o'clock here in the morning with the Duker Larry Morrow. It is time to play Name It and Claim It. Popular, and he had Wixy 1260 on the side of it. Remember that, Lou?
Oh, yeah.
Painted on the side, and so it got a tremendous amount of attention. And then you had a phone in the back of the car, but it wasn't hooked up. And you would have a fake ringer, and we would go up to a light, and I'll never forget this one day. The phone rang, and Lou picked it up and handed it out the window to the people looking at us next door and said, "It's for you." Lou, I was also telling one of the writers yesterday, David Southman, the Plain Dealer, he said, "Were you guys close?" And I said, "We were all very close." And we socialized together a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, we certainly did.
Yeah.
We had some good times. But probably the best memories that I can think of.
And they were also wild times. We were a wild bunch. Remember the days behind Wixy 1260, before we had moved downtown in the studios that we're broadcasting from today, taking those wild rides with Mike Ranieri and the child?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You remember the time that they came out to the transmitter with the Jeep, Mike's Jeep? Into the woods?
And we wrecked it.
Yeah.
I remember coming back, and Norm Wayne said, "Where have you guys been?" And the bumper of the Jeep looked like a big V after we had smashed the tree. I walked back, and you walked back, but the child and Ranieri came back, crawling back almost. Well, Lou, we're looking forward to having you on later on today. Jim LaBarbera is here already.
Oh, is he studying?
Yes, yes, he is, as a matter of fact. My king, it's great to hear from you, and I'll see you later.
Okay, Duke.
All right, bye-bye. Luke Kirby here at 9:30. Now, and speaking of Lumencordium High School, there was a record that went right along with that big promotion we did, the High School Spirit Contest.
Cylinder engine. See the Jaguar XJ6 today at Jaguar Cleveland and Cleveland Heights.
Jimmy, you and I are going to come out and do a little thing. Here we got spot, and then 3 commercials, and then you got break.
I thought Walter was going to come in yesterday with some donuts. I was waiting for that.
Oh, yeah. You know what? The first day on the air, because he used to bring me coffee all the time, when I joined WQAL, the first day at 5:30, Walt walks in with coffee and donuts. He said, "You see, Larry, I'm still waiting on you, man. I own the station, and I'm still waiting on you."
On this magical weekend here in a greater Cleveland area, and it has been so much fun reliving all those old days. Jim LaBarbera is here. We used to call Jimmy the Professor, and I'll tell you why right after this.
He tries with everybody. He did the same thing last year, and he always ends up with nobody. He and I are sitting at the bar.
All right. Now getting nice silhouettes here.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful silhouettes.
That's it?
That's it.
But he's funny. He really is.
Oh, I love him, man.
How about like this?
Yeah, there you
This
go.
is good. This is good. This is beautiful.
I need some. He does like Bill Medley with his
over the shoulders.
neighbor's
I've got his
suit on.
shoulders.
Yeah,
and his
yeah,
head.
with the big
The back.
chains.
I've got it. I need him while he's
The American breed, bend me, shape me, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Sonny Geraci, outside.
And the survey says, what survey?
And that nun, she was crying when he sang. Look at him sing Unchained Melody or he sang a religious song. She was like in tears.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was a nice night.
Okay, the Super Bowl comes close and the World Series is longer.
That's good. That's beautiful. What a nostalgia trip.
Yeah, the feud is back and it's gonna leave you smiling. So come on, come on. The feud is back.
You guys noticed this new new host for the Family Feud?
Yeah.
Yeah, all those commercials. Oh, you just want to smack him on it.
Is this the last one? Well, I'm the Duker Larry Morrow, 12 now before 10 o'clock here on Wixy 1260. I haven't talked this fast in my life. With me right now is a guy that we used to call the Professor. Lou King Kirby was just alluding to it, Jim, when I said, "Jim LaBarbera is here." And he said, "Is he reading a book?"
My studying.
Yeah.
He's great.
Where did the Professor come from, Jim?
I'll tell you, Jim Gallant, who I replaced at, is this mic on? At WKYC.
Okay, we're gonna move Jimmy over to another microphone. Jim, why don't you go ahead over there? Okay. But Jim LaBarbera, before Jim had come to Wixy 1260, he was working at WKYC. You were doing all nights, weren't you?
I was doing all nights and early nights too. It was early nights, and then they moved me to all nights, and then back to early nights.
Mm-hmm.
And this is neat. Did you hear the echo?
Oh, sure.
Oh.
I haven't heard an echo.
And
15 years.
when you mentioned Lumencordium before, remember Bill Medley with the Nehru suit and the gold chains, and the American breed, Sonny Geraci and the Outsiders.
Yes.
Great night.
Bend me, shape me any way you want me. And
The
we had
Swamp
taken them,
Seeds.
we took them to Lumencordium. Sure.
But I came over to Wixy when, was it Jerry Butler? Jerry Butler left. Actually, they fired us at KYC. I was with Jerry G, Jane Lawrence, walked in one day and they cleaned house. Everybody got it. Big Jack got the axe about a week before any of us for putting the gorilla throwing up underneath Virgil Dominic's news, the NBC Network News. And Virgil was, we were the Midwest Center for NBC.
Virgil, at that time, as he still is today, was the most respected newsman in the city.
Yeah, but they had warned Jack many times. So I came over here to Wixy. But I was at Wixy earlier in very early 1966 as Jay Bentley Star for like 3 days. Ray Otis was the morning man. Otis quit after 2 days, left a very strong letter on Norman Wayne's office desk. Then the next day I came in and Howie Lund, the late Howie Lund, was the morning man.
Sure.
And the first night I came to Wixy, Bobby Magic was running the board. And it was this same kind of echo like you have now, and Magic's got a garbage can over his head.
Yeah.
Joey Reynolds had just quit, left to go to Wixy in Detroit. So I got a call from Jerry Spinn. I got a call from Jerry Spinn, yeah. And I came in, could barely find the radio station, wrecked my car, got into the station, and Magic he's got some teenage girl in line, says, man, hey baby, I gotta go, I got a hot one. And I said, well, how do you run the board? Where's the log? So somewhere in the Wixy files, there's a log that's not signed for a week, and I had no idea, no formats, commercials. He was gone, and that was it. I was on my own.
That's terrific with an FCC inspection coming up.
Yeah. So I was picked up by WKYC. I was working in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Jay Bentley Star was my air name. And Bob Martin, the general manager, right before, like a half hour before I went on the air, I said, what a great opportunity for Jay Bentley Star. And he said, no, man. He said, you're Jim LaBarbera. Use Jim LaBarbera. Sure. It's the first time I ever said my own name on the air.
Yeah.
And so it was a great time in Cincinnati. It was in Cleveland from 66 through early 69. And then I went to Cincinnati and was on their sister station, J-Corps station down there for 15 years. I was number one afternoon drive down.
I remember being in an elevator over at the park one day when I was working at 3WE doing the morning show. And Cincinnati Bengals were in town. And I said, you look like you're from Cincinnati. They had this huge black and orange Bengal on their sweater. And I said, I'm going to mention one name, and you tell me, give me your reaction to that name. They said, okay. And I said, Jim LaBarbera. And I had never met these people before. They said, oh my God, we know Jim LaBarbera. And I said, well, he's my friend. And I said, please give him my best when you go back. So, but where did the professor come from? You knew everything about
Jim
it.
Gallant and record guys used to kid me all the time. He used to say, hey, your sister dated Paul Revere. I don't even have a sister. But people, that just kind of stayed with me. And I just picked up a little information. I can't remember my own phone number or what my hotel room is, but I can tell you that Sherman Grimes was the bass man with Frankie Lyman and the teenagers in it. He went to Stitch Junior High School and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Jim, your fans are waiting when you come on.
It's going to be a lot of fun. What a lot of fun.
Yeah, okay, it's a great scene.
But you know, I just left the radio station in Cincinnati about 6 months ago. I walked into the general manager's office, and they teamed me up with a woman, so I was doing a two-man show. Afternoon drive, good money. It was a 50,000-watt radio station. I said, this isn't working. I'm miserable to come into work every day. This has been going on for 11 months. Get me out of this thing. I'm not going to quit. You're going to have to fire me. Put me on any shift. I just don't want it. I'm not happy doing this. And then they obliged, and I was fired 2 weeks later. They let both of us go. But I want to tell you, it wasn't happy going into work. And we were talking about this the other night, King Kirby and Billy Bass and I. You know, Larry, when we worked at Wixy, the money wasn't the greatest. I went from $37,500 totally over at KYC to $200 a week working 7 days here.
Hey, but you got all the food you wanted, man, right?
Yeah, the coffee, the pop, and the records. And it was fun. Every day was fun coming to work here. And that's not always the case in radio.
Yeah. I still have that feeling today. You know, I was excited about coming down here today. But anyway, let's continue now here on Wixy 1260 at 7 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. We'll go directly into another Wixy triple play. The Animals here on Wixy 1260 at 3.5 minutes now before 10 o'clock with the Duker. Jim LaBarbera standing by, and then following that, the King, my King, Lou Kirby will be by, Chuck Knapp and Billy Bass tomorrow, right after Paxton Mills and Jack Yolita Armstrong. So stay tuned, and they're giving me, I got to do... the legal ID. Oh, yeah. You don't think I'm going to mention this legal ID, do you? You don't think I'm going to say this is WMJI Cleveland? Sure. Am I going to say that? Well, I just did. And let me end the way that I used to end my show for 6 years here on Wixy 1260 every single day. Do all the good you can, do everyone you can, every single time you can. I'll see you later.
You win! You're in with Wixy 1260 Super Radio.
Great job.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, you were a wonderful skater.
Yeah, I had great fun. Now I got to be at my next promotion at 11 o'clock. God.
Let's go. Let
me take this. Sword is yours. Okay. I'm sorry I haven't seen these guys.
That's great. So I wanted. He said I packed my bag. See, and then you're putting the coat on. Then the nice little hug. Oh man, I love that stuff. Great.